returning values from functions. How to return values from a function. There is a two way you can return values from a function. Note two way. There are two types of function related to return value. That is, if the function retaining some value, if the function retain some value, then that function is called a non-void function. That the function not retaining any value, it is called a void function. A function it's not retaining anything, it is called a void function. Then if the function retaining some value, it is called a non-void function. First one, functions retaining some values, non-void functions. The functions that retain some computed result in terms of value fall in this category. The computed value is returned using return statement as per the syntax. If the value being returned can be one of the following. That is, the function can return a literal value, a variable, and also an expression. Literal, you already know what is that. Variable, you already know. Then expression, you already know. For example, the following some legal return statement. Return 5. So this function returning a literal. So what is literal here? Literal here 5. Then return 6 plus 4. This statement returning expression involving literals. This 6 plus 4 is an expression. So 6 is a literal, 4 is a literal, 6 plus 4 is a expression. So the function will return a literal also, function will return an expression also. Then this one return a, the variable being returned. In this statement, the function returning a variable name a. So the function can return a variable also. Then return a raised to 3. The expression involving a variable and a literal being returned. That is, both a function can return literal variables and also expression in a one statement. So a is a variable, star double star raised to symbol, it is the expression. This a raised to 3 is an expression, a is a variable, 3 is a literal. So that's why it's saying that expression involving a variable and literal being returned. Next, return a plus 8 raised to 2 whole divided by 3. This expression also involving literals, variable a, b is a variable, literals 8 and 2. Then expression, what is expression here? A plus 8 raised to 2 divided by b. Then this return a plus b by c, expression involving variable being returned. When you call a function that is returning a value, the returned value is made available to the caller function or program by internally substituting the function call statement. That is, did you see that? This is a function. Then this is the summing x plus y to s. Then this is the return statement. So a variable s is returning to the function. Who is the calling here? Which function or which program is calling this sum function? Main program get the returned value s, then it is stored into result. So that's why it's saying that after the function call to sum, the function is successfully completed. The function calculate the result, that is return statement function have given the computer sum of 5 and 3. That is, after these 5, 3 computed here, 5 plus 3, 8. 8 is stored into S. S is returned back to the sum here. Then it will store to return. Then if you print this result, you will get the value 5. You will get the value 8. Important. The returned value of a function should be used in the caller function or program inside an expression or a statement. For above mentioned some function, the following statements are used. Your following statements are using the returned value in a right manner. That is, this is the possible way. You can call the sum function using a comma b. The returned value being used in an assignment statement. That is, the returned value. Returned value, it's stored in another variable. That is called assignment. The returned value being used in an assignment. The returned value. So here, what is the use of returned value? It is assigned to add result. So second one, returned value being used in a print statement. So what is the use of returned value here? It is used to print. Directly it is used to print. Then the returned value being used in a relational expression. So this returned value is compared with these 6. That is 8 greater than 6. So what is the use of returned value here? It is used to compare. It is used in a relational expression. This is the most important. If you do not use their value in any of these ways, just give a standalone function call. Python will not report an error, but their return value is completely wasted. So again, if the function is returning, it is saying that, did you see that? In a function body, one value is returned. So you do not write anything here like sum a comma b, then stored to you will not write this statement here, and also you will not write this statement here, you will not write this statement here. You simply call a function like sum a comma b. So in that situation, Python will not report an error, but the returned value is completely wasted. That is, we are not using that returned value. It is coming back to the caller section, but we will not use that. So this another thing. The function returning a value are known as fruitful function. The return statement ends a function execution even if it is in the middle of the function. That is, when the function executes a return statement, that means that function work is over. That is, the function execution is over. Whenever a return statement is executed, then what happens? It will back to the caller section. So check here. This is an example here. So here calculating the value math dot f absolute. Here absolute value finding. What is the absolute value of a? So what happened? A return statement, normally we are return at the last of the function, but here did you see that the return statement is written in between the statement. So the function, when the function call, when a caller calling the function, then execution calculated this one, suddenly it will return statement is executed. What happened? It will go back to the caller section. That is, this printer a will not executed. Up to here, from this first, second, third line, return a statement is executed. Return a means go back to the caller function with a variable a. So it will not, function will not execute this print a ever. print a error. So this you must be careful about that. Most of the time students are mistaking this kind of error. Then try to write a return statement at the last of the function. Otherwise the remaining after the return, there is a print a here, it will not execute. That it is saying that a function ends the moment it reaches a return statement, or all the statements in the function body have been executed, whichever occur earlier. Example, following function will never reach the print statement as a return is reached before that. That is, the function will not execute this print a, because after this return a means function execution, the program execution go back to the caller position. So it will not execute the print a. Def greet. Print hello. This is the function body, function header. Then this is the function body. It will print hello only. Then this is the function call. Did you see that this is a void function or non-void function? This is the void function. It will not return anything. But here is an assignment operation is here. The return value. So the void function return which value? None. Then what happen? The none is returned back to this greet. Then that none value is stored into a. Then it will print a. Then what is output? It will first print hello. Then print this a. What is a value? It is none. What is the execution? Execution starting from the def. Then function header. Then there is no problem in the function header. Then it will skip the function body. Then it will directly come here. It will call this function. Then it will print the hellos. Then then it will back to the caller section. Then the return value. What is the return? This is non-void function. It will return a none value. It is stored in a. Then print a means it will print none. A void function, sometimes called non-fruitful function, returns legal empty value of Python, that is none, to its caller. So void function, it is called non-fruit function. It return none value. Then non-void function, it is called fruitful function. It return a literal values or an expressions or variables. Check this example, def replicate. This is the function. So this is the void function. It return the value none. Then when we call the function replicate, then it will go to here. It will print this dollar symbol. Then it will come back to the caller section with the none value. That why it print none here. So it will first print this dollar symbol, then come back to here with the none value. Then also it will print the none value. That's why it is printing none. So here also what is here? It will return here def replicate 1. This is another function. So it will return dollar symbols. So this is a fruitful function or non-fruitful function? This is a fruitful function. That is, it is non-void function. It is returning these symbols. Then this symbol go back to the caller position, caller section. Then it will print the return value here. So here means so how it is printing none? I think it is clear that here is it will returning this symbol, because this is a non-void function. So this is void function return in none. That's why it is printing none here.